what I'd like to tell you about today is not about our services, it's not about functionality, it's more about global experience and global funds and how they're structured, implemented into the government, into the financial structure, and how typically it works, and which of them are, what their best practices. So on the next slide, actually my agenda is really short. I just like to extract the major things which I'd like to share with you. Actually, I called to our colleagues from some sovereign and pension funds, and they give me a lot of advices how to present the infrastructure better for you. So, the pension system overview, and I'd like to make it more interactive. Here is 4 numbers. Guess what does it mean? Yeah, exactly. What does it mean 55? Yes, and only one country for today, whereas women eligible to go to retirement or have pension is only China, but for women who works on the factory. For other women who works in the office, 60 years. And here is a little bit slow, but Chinese women. Nothing about racism. The next one is 70, Norway. You know that's, and we will talk about it a lot today, Norges Bank and Norges Sovereign Fund, the biggest pension, one of the biggest pension fund global, but you would be surprised that now they discuss the reform of age of people who should receive their pension. And for today, it's 65 years. And approximately after third quarter of this year, the level of pension would be changed to 70 because of again risk and yield of the fund and their investments. So the best world practices are actually based on a few things. The difference between funds depends on the type of income, whereas a government pension level is one part of it. The second one is typically the insurance system, like individual insurance program for 60, for 65 years when you finished your work, etc. And personal commercial plan. For example, and it's official information, you could find it in our annual financial report of Thomson Reuters. Me as an employee, for example, I could spend 2% of my salary to one of the pension program, and my company will add extra 3 to this program too. Therefore, we both have a risk of pension system. And for example, if I will change my job, I would have an option to still pay this 2% without 3% of Thomson Reuters, or just close this program and take my money all in the last day in Thomson Reuters. I hope it wouldn't be soon. So the world's best places to retire in 2018. Actually, I did some research, and actually I forgot the website where I found a lot of information. What is the best place to have your retirement? And the number 3 is Panama. The really friendly place, welcoming in great benefits, especially no tax for pensioners. Number 2, yes, and offshore, thank you very much. Mexico. Their local government tried to support pension citizens who is on retirement, and it doesn't mean where you're from. You could be American, you could be European, but if you went to the Mexico and receive your money through some Mexican banks, you also would be counted as a Mexican pensioner. And the first one, you would be surprised, Costa Rica. And actually, I know my colleague from Costa Rica. I called to her and asked, look how it happened. And her answer was really brilliant. You know, we do not have army. all of our money was spent for old citizens. I was really shocked, and I said, how it could be? How you could be without army? You stay in the like in the middle between North and South America. And she said, look, it doesn't matter. We're really small countries. They will spend like 30 minutes just to beat us. For what we have? I was like really shocked, but that's the result. They are on the first place in the world for pension times. So, and actually you could type in Google retirement heaven, and all first couple of pages would be about Costa Rica. Beautiful pictures. I'm really looking for buy a house here. So a lot of history. The oldest pension system is Great Britain. For today, and actually I counted. Next slide we will see it. They have really a lot of thousand different pension funds where they offer to their clients different investment strategies with different currencies, with different management fees. Therefore, you use like, it really looks like trust, where you pay some money, receive annual reports about your statement, that's all. And top 3 biggest pension funds is Japan Government Pension Fund, Norway Global Pension Fund, or Norges, we will talk about it, and the Holland. We wouldn't talk about China, Taiwan, and some other Central Asian country, because there they have a tradition that younger people pay for the older people, and they officially do not have any type of pensions, officially again. They have some, but it's not a pension, it's other type of payments. So, and some infograph, I apologize if it's not readable, but almost 50% of global pension funds are based in Great Britain pounds. You would be surprised, but if we look deeper into these numbers, 50% of them absolutely in pounds, but from this 50%, about 35% is in pennies, in coins, because people spend not the full pound. They could spend each month like a half of pound, and I was really surprised how many net asset value they have, and the performance for the last 10 years really incredible. For me, if I take a decision to open my pension fund, I absolutely will look deeper into these funds, and it's really interesting. And another interesting thing, that US dollars is less than 2%. A lot of time we talked about that US dollars is a global currency, that it's really important, but again, in long-term investments, it's not so important for pension management funds. Typically, they use pounds, Australian dollars, euros, Brazil real, Korean won, etc. And further, I will describe why. Type of investments. Again, we have GIPS methodology. I'm sure that on previous sessions you talked about it, and we have some methodology about how to divide these numbers, which is what does it mean: mixed assets, equity, aggressive, etc., etc. And you see this diagram, and around 46% pension consist or focused on equity market in different types, in aggressive style, in long-term outlook, etc., etc. 31% of funds use mixed structure. You know, here in Kiev, I spent my last couple of days, and it was my like 25th visit to Ukraine, and we met with a lot of investment company and banks, and I asked them, look, do you have portfolios? All of them said yes, of course. What's your portfolio consist of? And all of them said bonds. And I was really surprised when I know these statistics, that long-term money really focused on the equity market, but not on fixed income. And I started, here I have in an asset management company, one of my really old friend, and we sit together on the lunch and started to discuss. I asked him, look, why you looking into the equity? He describe it for me easily because they work with retail clients. And he said that, look, for example, if I come to the retail client and try to describe what does it mean, dividend payments, equity, why I should buy the brick of this building, and it means that I'm also the shareholder of this company, or I have another choice. I show the deposit rate in the commercial bank and yield to maturity to any commercial bond, and it would be much higher than deposit rate in bank. I said, look, it's incorrect because yield to maturity, it's not your real yield, it's a measure of risk. He said, yeah, for you, for me, but not for retail. For them, it's quite the same. I was really shocked, and we discussed it a lot, and after that, one of his clients called him and had just said, please ask him, does your client think that yield to maturity and rate of deposit are the same for him? He said yes. And I was really surprised, but look, for short-term investments, for your retail clients, for you personally, probably fixed income is a great opportunity to invest. But in long term, especially in healthcare, especially in information technology and other, you see that we have Uber. Like 5 years ago, we called to the taxi company, asked for the driver, wait. Anyway, we do not use smartphones because we agreed that after 30 minutes we will see near the clock station, for example, and we will still stay and wait. For example, yesterday at night we walked around and I ordered Uber, changed my position, pinged that's to my driver, he picked me up, I went to the hotel easily without any phone calls. Therefore, probably for short-term investments, for those who are looking for easy options without anything difficult in your portfolio of fixed income could be interesting. But equity market, and these statistics showed it, that equity market is much more prioritized for long-term investments. So, and I told you that I called to our account management in Norway, who is responsible for our for relationship between Thomson Reuters and Norges Bank, the Norway pension fund. They send us, and it's official data. You could use this print screen. This is a structure of pension fund and government structure. I was really surprised. I will try. Okay. And I will start from the first slide. Just give me a couple of secs. Yep. Here we are. So, Norwegian Parliament is a legislation. They officially approve the law. They officially give the notice, regulations, rules, how it should be, how you should manage your funds. They have not in a government structure, but it's office of auditor, general auditor, who is check the system, how it works. Further, Norges Bank Audit is a commercial bank who is responsible for sovereign and pension fund. They have Ministry of Finance, who is a state in the middle of this structure, and actually the main thing, as our colleagues described for me, that Ministry of Finance is a place where they should be 100% sure that all rules which is issued by Norwegian Parliament are 100% aligned with investment management structure. For example, you know about anti-money laundering law and sanctions list, and here in Ministry of Finance they should be sure that Norges Bank doesn't invest into some not white, not clean accounts or companies. Therefore, and the only one thing, only they will respond for this. It doesn't matter anything for Norges Bank, okay? They will close their US account somewhere, it doesn't matter for them. But for Ministry of Finance, it would be a global scandal if it happened. And the main interesting thing, today in the morning with some of you, we discussed about advisors. Who is it? Actually, I was really shocked that they have almost in each of 107 countries where we have financial markets, they outsource local asset managements. What they're doing, they, for example, fly into the Kiev, meet with some asset management and say to them, look, here is my money, you could manage them, how much I should pay for you for this? And their idea means that only local people could know better local market than them. Norges Bank, this cash machine, but management of this cash are provided by local companies only. I asked how it could be. For example, Kazakhstan, probably you listened about Astana International Financial Center, Astana Expo last year, a lot of stuff they did next couple, I'm sorry, last couple of years. But Norges already came to them and said, look, you have a tax-free area in Astana. We'd like to open some offices here. Here would be your local management company, but they will manage our money. It's incredible. And now I see the value of it, because I know some people here and they said, look, of course we could meet with CEO of this company like just after 5 minutes, but for Norges Bank they need to spend a week just to prepare for this meeting and understand what's going on with this company. So, and the main idea is that if you're owner of the big stake of money, it doesn't matter that you should manage them. It means that you could delegate the management ability of your money to someone else. So, and solutions that also connected to the Thomson Reuters services, and you could ask my colleagues later, but what's really important for any asset management company is to have data storage where they could count any securities globally inside their systems, because typically they have like one storage where any of employee of the fund could extract any data from it to their other systems. For example, risk management will count value at risk metrics based on data storage. Portfolio managements will prepare some reports, again, based on information which is keeping in data storage. Portfolio managements will count P&L, again, on data storage, because they need real-time data, and it's much easier to have the one storage than have a lot of some services. Transaction cost analysis, I was also really interested about it, because we analyzed, and actually I did it last couple of weeks. I called to some of my friends from asset management companies and asked them, look, how do you trade? Does 10 cents important for you? They said no. For us, we have a buy and hold strategy. It doesn't matter, plus $1 or minus $1, it's not important. And I was really surprised about it, how it could be. I said, yeah, what's your P&L? They said, yeah, we have accountants department who count trade date, trade time, trade price, price for today. I said, okay, fine, but what about your retail clients? And they said, and actually 70% of them say that we manage them success fee. What does it mean? If they have profit for the last quarter, 20% of it, for example, management company keep with them, and 80% of it will receive to their retail client. And it's really on a scheme where you could be a partner with your retail client, where you could together share with them risk, market risk. Because if you're the bad manager and you lost money, you shouldn't have your salary, or you shouldn't have your bonus. And again, this transaction cost analysis is really important to the company who try to count each penny into their portfolios. White counterparties network. I told you about Norges outsource system, that they have a lot of local asset management companies, but for today it's really important because, for example, oil stations. I noticed that here in Kiev, the price of 95 petrol is started from 29 to 33, something like this. On the market, it's completely the same. You could go to the native issue. For example, Metinvest again, we discovered this case today. A lot of time. They have a bond which will be matured in 2020, I think. And we have the differences in prices in the quote list, and it was like 1 or 2%, because it's not the most liquidity bond on the market. Therefore, all of market players have different stakes in their portfolios. So, for example, if I am owner the 80% of the whole, for example, amount of outstanding, of course I could show you the less price than other guys. Portfolio management system, it's really important thing, because for me, when I do my personal trades, of course I use Excel. It's the best thing. But when you are own and your depot is about $1,000, joking, it's 500. And it's really when you buy one stock, two stocks, couple of bonds, it's really quite easy to count it in Excel. But when you respond for people's money, it's really important to have really strong system which could count automatically all metrics you need, and to show to the client, because again it's about trust with your client. You shouldn't make any mistakes in your reports, and because any client could check this. I have a great example. One of the bank in Kazakhstan trade with my ex-partner. I worked in BCS, one of the biggest broker, and we opened the brokerage report, and I said, look, I don't remember these prices for this Kazakh bond. He said, yeah, but they sold me. Okay, let's check it. We open the icon terminal, open the quote chart, and see that it's like 5% difference between the trade price and price of realization, price on the chart. We called to the broker and asked, look, why it's happened? Yeah, you know, we couldn't find the amount you're interested in because it was quite big. Therefore, we go to the international broker, ask them, they give it this price. Therefore, it's 5% bigger or more. We both were shocked. I said, look, why you couldn't split it for the small accounts and just go to not international, some international broker, but to just to your local peers. They said, yeah, but that's how it works. So therefore, trust is really important if you build in any types of funds. And also important for pensioners, because what I'm doing day by day with my grandmother, I describe her financial mathematics. I tried to describe what does it mean dividend yield, what's the clean price or dirty price, accrued, etc. And once my grandma will have the additional pension fund, the commercial structure, and we will check the financial reports each quarter, believe me. And the final thing is information system, because I apologize one more time that I skipped half of this day. But I'm sure that you listened a lot of qualified information for you, and I hope that last 15 minutes I also said something interesting for you. But you couldn't spend all time in these beautiful rooms. You need to understand what's going on globally. Like today, my colleague Valentin, yeah, he's already left. When we started our way to this place from Podol, he told me the really funny thing. Let's turn on the radio. I asked why. Look at the traffic. It's 4:00 p.m. Something happened. We need to understand what's going on. Gorod town is absolutely stuck. That means that we all times need to have really good information system to understand what's going on the market. And actually, yes, that was the last slide. Colleagues, thank you very much for your attention. It's a pleasure for me to see you there. I will stay here. Have a great evening.